Life's too short to play the secret feelings game. If you find yourself wrestling with the best way to spill the beans about your affection, you're in luck. This video is your go-to guide, your roadmap to genuine expression. We're not here to complicate things, we're here to simplify the game of affection. In this video, we'll walk you through the top 5 most authentic ways to lay your feelings on the table, why it works, and tips for success. Consider it your personalized toolkit for emotional honesty. By the end of this journey, you'll hopefully find the method that resonates with you the most, making the whole process of expressing your affection a bit less daunting and more genuine. So, buckle up for a ride through the lanes of heartfelt communication. Also, I will advise you to watch to the end because we discussed some methods that didn't make it to the cut and why they didn't. Number 1. The handwritten letter. Old school but heartfelt. Think about it. When did you last get a good old handwritten letter in the mail? With everything going digital, those tangible notes have become quite a rarity. And you know what? That's precisely what makes them unique. In a world where texts and emails zoom around at lightning speed, taking the time to put pen to paper feels like a genuine throwback to a more personal era. It's like receiving a slice of someone's time and effort sealed in an envelope. So, even though it might take longer to reach you, a handwritten letter carries a unique charm that electronic messages can't replicate. It's a bit like holding a piece of someone's heart in your hands. Why it works. 1. Personal touch. Your handwriting adds a unique element that digital texts can't match. 2. Time to reflect. A letter allows you and the recipient to ponder your feelings, adding depth to your expression. Tips for success. Choose quality paper and a good pen to make your letter feel even more special. Deliver it personally if possible, or time it so you can discuss it later during an in-person meeting. Number 2 on our list, face-to-face, the classic approach. There's something timeless about keeping things simple. Just imagine this. Telling someone you like them right there, face-to-face. It's like the purest form of straightforwardness. No filters, no digital screens, just you, your words, and the other person. But here's the kicker, it takes courage from both sides. It's not just about the speaker summoning up the bravery to spill the beans, but it also requires the other person to receive and respond to those feelings in the moment. It's a dance of vulnerability, a real-time exchange of emotions that doesn't hide behind screens or elaborate setups. So, in a world where complexity often reigns, this simplicity becomes the epitome of sophistication, a genuine and bold way to express affection. Why it works. 1. Immediate feedback. You'll immediately know how the other person feels based on their facial expressions and body language. 2. Emotional depth. The in-person approach allows for a level of emotional nuance that texts or calls can't convey. Tips for success. Choose a quiet and comfortable setting where you both can talk without distractions. Prepare what you want to say, but allow room for spontaneity. Number 3. A planned outing. The premeditated confession. Okay, so imagine you're sharing your feelings with someone you care about. Instead of just blurting it out randomly, choosing a specific time and place can make it more special. It's like giving your confession a unique backdrop, making it stand out in your memories. It's not just about saying it, it's about setting the stage for that moment, showing the other person that you've really thought about how and when to express yourself. It turns a simple confession into a thoughtful and meaningful event, making the emotions you're sharing even more significant. It's like giving your words a proper stage to shine on. Why it works. 1. Thoughtfulness. Planning an outing around their interests can make your confession feel even more genuine. 2. Romantic setting. A beautiful setting can help set the mood and make your confession more memorable. Tips for success. Choose a location that has special meaning for both of you. Keep the outing intimate. Avoid crowded places where you might be overheard. Number 4. During a shared activity, the bonding moment. Picture this. Instead of sitting down for a serious heart-to-heart, you spill the beans about your feelings while doing something you both love. It's like merging your confession seamlessly into an activity you both enjoy. This makes the moment feel natural and connected to your shared interests. It's not just about the words. It's about weaving your feelings into the fabric of what you both love doing together. By choosing this approach, you're saying, hey, our connection is so important that I want to link my feelings to what we enjoy as a team. It makes the revelation more than just words. It becomes a part of your shared experiences, making it all the more genuine and intimate. Why it works? 1. Shared interests. Bonding over a mutual activity can make your confession feel more natural. 2. Comfort zone. Being in a familiar setting can make both you and the other person feel more at ease. Tips for success. Choose an activity that allows for conversation. Use the momentum of the activity to naturally lead into your confession. Number 5. Via FaceTime. The digital face-to-face. Imagine you can't be with someone physically, like they're miles away. Now, instead of just a regular phone call, you've got FaceTime, a nifty middle ground between a voice-only chat and a face-to-face meeting. It's like a compromise that lets you see each other's expressions and feel a bit closer, even when you're not in the same place. It's kind of like having the perks of being in the same room without actually being there. So when distance is a roadblock, FaceTime steps in, offering a more personal touch than just talking on the phone, making those virtual connections a bit more human and real. Why? It works. 1. Visual connection. Being able to see each other adds an extra layer of intimacy to your confession. 2. Convenience. Allows for a meaningful conversation without the need for physical presence. Tips for success. Make sure you have a stable internet connection to avoid any awkward interruptions. Choose a quiet and well-lit space so you can both see and hear each other clearly. Have you subscribed to our channel yet? If you haven't, why not? Please take a moment to click the subscribe button, and while you are doing that, don't forget the bell icon so you can stay updated on our incoming exciting content. Now let's move on, shall we? So we've laid out some solid ways to express feelings, but there are other methods out there that didn't quite make it to our list. Let's dive into those for a sec. Some folks have their own unique ways of pouring out emotions that might not be on our radar. It's not that these methods are necessarily bad. They just didn't quite make the cut because our focus was on the ones deemed particularly genuine and effective. Maybe they lack a bit of the impact we were aiming for, or they didn't quite hit the sweet spot. It's all about picking the methods that resonate most with you and the situation at hand, and sometimes some options just don't quite fit the bill. Now, let's discuss some notable exclusions, those things that didn't make the cut and why. Text messages, sure thing. Texting is super handy, right? It's like the go-to when you want to shoot someone a quick message. But when it comes to confessing deep emotions, it might fall a bit short. The thing is, texting tends to keep things on the surface. You miss out on those facial expressions, tone of voice, and all the nuances that come with a face-to-face conversation. It's like trying to fit something big into a tiny text box. Sure, it's easy, but it might not do justice to the emotional weight of your confession. Sometimes it's worth considering a more personal approach to capture the depth of what you're feeling. Social media DMs. Absolutely, the whole sliding into DMs thing might sound like a casual and modern move, but there's a flip side to it. While it's a convenient way to initiate a conversation, it can sometimes be seen as a bit impersonal, or in some cases even insincere. It's like trying to dive into meaningful topics through a digital window. You miss the subtleties of a real face-to-face connection. It's not that it's a bad move, it's just that the medium itself might not convey the sincerity and depth you want to bring to your conversation. So, it's like weighing the cool factor against the risk of not fully getting your genuine feelings across. Through a friend. You know, if you're thinking about using a friend as the middleman to deliver your feelings, it's a bit like taking the scenic route. It might seem less direct, but here's the catch. It can water down the sincerity of your message. It's like playing telephone, where the original meaning can get lost in translation. Your friend, with all their good intentions, might not convey your emotions with the same authenticity you would. Plus, it adds an extra layer, and things can easily get misunderstood. It's like aiming for a straight shot, but ending up with a bit of a detour. So while it might seem like a softer approach, it comes with its own set of challenges when it comes to expressing your genuine feelings. Public declarations. You've probably seen those epic scenes in movies where someone makes a grand public gesture to express their feelings, right? Like a flash mob or a massive billboard declaration. Well, in real life, it's a bit different. While it might seem super romantic on the big screen, pulling off something like that in public can actually put the other person on the spot and be downright overwhelming. It's like turning a personal moment into a spectacle, and not everyone's comfortable with that. Imagine being caught off guard by a massive romantic gesture in the middle of a crowd. It can be more intense than heartfelt. So despite the movie magic, sometimes a quieter, more personal approach works better in real relationships. Gifting. Absolutely. Sending gifts to convey your feelings has its sweet side, but there's a potential downside too. It's like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's a thoughtful gesture showing you care. But on the flip side, it can unintentionally create a sense of obligation for the other person. They might feel pressured or even think you're trying to buy their affection with presents. It's like there's this subtle expectation hanging in the air. Gifting should feel genuine, not like a transaction. So while it's a lovely idea, it's crucial to find a balance that doesn't make your expression of feelings come across as a quid pro quo. After all, sincerity beats out any shiny gift in the long run. Understanding why some methods are less ideal than others can help you make a more informed decision on genuinely expressing your feelings. Whether you're leaning towards a handwritten letter or a planned outing, remember, the most important thing is to be true to yourself and respectful of the other person's feelings and comfort level. Finding the courage to express your feelings is the first step in opening the door to a potentially beautiful relationship. Whether you opt for the timeless charm of a handwritten letter or the modern ease of a FaceTime call, ensure your approach is as genuine as your feelings. Until next time, gentlemen, stay soulfully synergized.